Hello, Code Nation students. Welcome to the webinar. This is 1.3 for portfolio work time. So this webinar will be pretty short, being that most of this session was just independent work time to work on your portfolio and finish up the requirements. But as we begin in this do now, feel free to open up your agenda, kind of review the notes and the just everything that's in your agenda for class that you missed. Sign into Slack, see if you need to get caught up on messages there, and then open up your portfolio in Glitch. We won't do project share out since that took place in class. But yeah, go ahead, just get logged into Glitch, pull up your portfolio, log into Slack, and then open up your agenda and just kind of get caught up. So it'll take 5 minutes to kind of get settled in and just caught up on logging in on each of these items. Reminder, we are in the last session of Unit 1, so this is our last class, spending time in the portfolio, and then we'll continue in the curriculum. Our objective for today, coders will learn to upload and link files and complete their online portfolio projects. A couple of vocab words will come across: host and boilerplate. So today's goals is to review uploading and linking files in Glitch and then completing your portfolio project. So like I said, it'll be pretty short and then just a lot of project work time today on your portfolio. So let's look at creating new files in Glitch. Again, if you need a pause, if you're not logged into Glitch, go ahead, pause the video right now, and then get logged in so you'll be able to follow along in these slides. So creating new files, you'll click the 3 dots next to your index.html file, and then you'll click duplicate. This is super easy, and it will copy all the HTML boilerplate, or in other words, that vocab means basic template codes, such as your HTML tag, your head tag, and body tags. You could create a brand new one, but it will be completely empty. So again, we recommend just doing the duplicate. Naming files, you'll kind of see a pattern here. All HTML files must end in HTML, just as all JavaScript files must end in .js, and then all CSS files must end in .css. And then again, no names or no spaces in the names. So you'll see in our example, like about me, you're not doing a space. It would just be like one word, about me, .html. You'll create a link with a similar tag that should look familiar from Intro to Web Development. And so creating a link from one HTML page to another with a simple href tag. And we have the example right there. And then of course, the closing tag at the end. Linking files, all your HTML, CSS, and JS files must be connected so they can work together. You should do this in the head tag of your HTML files. Remember, the head is always where we link things, just like fonts, which we went over last week. So same idea. So linking files with jQuery. Remember, in popcode, we'd have to enable the jQuery library. So same idea for this. Now we have to add a jQuery by linking it in the head of our HTML2. This is the tag we use to import the jQuery. And you can find this on Google when you need to add it by searching link jQuery, but we have it right there to copy and paste. And then on this slide, we kind of call out where you're going to put that in. And so exactly where you'll put it in when you're linking your file. So if you need to pause the video, that's fine, and just kind of get set up on linking the jQuery. Then if we think about uploading files in Glitch, you'll see in our guide practice, the teacher instructors kind of modeled like adding a photo and then using like the assets library. So uploading an image from your computer to host in it, which it stores in the Glitch online server, make sure you name it something simple and that it ends with .jpeg or .png or .gif. And then the uploaded image to your HTML page using a simple image tag. So I already have this tag in my example, so I'm just going to copy and paste in. But just remembering that img, src for source, =, and then in quotation, that URL. You can also add audio and video files the same way. So we'll get into that as the year goes on. So again, for guided practice, I'll just do a quick little, kind of example or model of how you would get images to come up. So if we take a look at our assets, I have these images here. All I did was like a typical uploader on any website. I just selected from files. So let's say you found the file, I got it. Okay, now it's uploaded. And here I see the file. I can also just literally copy it directly from here. So I clicked it, I'm copying it directly. And then all I'm doing is I'm going back into my HTML, and then I'm just going to put it in that tag, right? And if we forget like how to show our code, remember we just go show, and we can either do it next to the code or in a new window. So I pull that up and I see right below my hello, I have my image source. And it will save, all these will just kind of build up like a library of photos. So that's how, if you're going to be working and you're adding specific photos, just feel free to do that. So like I said, pretty short today, we're going to give you independent practice time to be working on your portfolio. So you're going to open up the portfolio in Glitch. You might have already done that if you're logged in. You're going to create a link in each of your 2 HTML files so your user can navigate back and forth between them. And then you're going to create a new HTML file, and then you'll link that new file to the other 2 pages. So we'll go ahead and give you, plenty of time here. Don't feel rushed. If you want to just pause the video and work on getting those tasks done. I'm going to keep going, but again, you can just pause your video and then we'll come back. So do take a break. I know this is a quick webinar, so you may not need one right now, but break up your project, your portfolio work time, and just take a good break, do some stretches, get a glass of water, get some food, whatever you need to stay focused. Like we do every time, an alumni spotlight. This was from a student named Nihal. He said, Code Nation not only showed me what choosing this career path would be like, but it also provided all the necessary resources to help me get there. The coding skills and professional experiences I gained with Code Nation made it possible for me to break into tech. So just a cool another spotlight of someone that was in your shoes in our program and making their way in a career in tech. Okay, so yeah, project time. Again, you did the independent practice. Maybe you took a little break, maybe not, because we've been on a shorter lesson. Now you're just going to work on completing your portfolio and going through that project plan that we went through a couple lessons ago. When you're done after the end of your work time, so I know we're kind of jumping ahead, it's funny in this webinar, but where will you add some of these skills to your portfolio? How many different HTML files do you want your portfolio to have? These are to think about as you're planning, as you're still working actually. And then will you need to link jQuery to this project? Why or why not? And so we went over jQuery and why that's important. So I think we kind of know that answer, but we're just reaffirming it. And so again, we're just kind of bringing these questions up to get you thinking as you're going through and building your project. Remember, like last time, we did our first pre-worktime stand-up. So again, as you're going into your project work time, you've reflected on those lightning questions. Now we're thinking about, okay, well, what did we learn today? So it was all about naming, creating files, right? And just linking them within Glitch. And then what's still confusing to you? Maybe that process, maybe you need to just slow it down and go through it again. And then what are your goals for work time? Well, we know we really want to get a lot, like an hour or so into just portfolio work time. So your goals would be related to completion and different items that you want to see complete and finished on your webpage. So project time, I know I said that earlier on the earlier slide, but we are here. So you can set a timer for 60 minutes. You actually may have more time, just being this is a shorter webinar. But by the end of the 60-minute work time today, or if you have a little bit more time, make sure all your pages are linked together in the nav bar, upload photos and screenshots to host them on your page, create a display of your 4 favorite coding projects from last year on your projects page. So that would mean logging into Popcode and pulling up those snapshots. Add your contact information and GitHub account to your contacts page, and then read the README for more ideas and extensions. Especially if you feel like you've hit everything, definitely go to the README for more ideas and extensions. And then, like I mentioned last time, in your class agenda and in the actual link slides that the instructors taught, look for model and like example projects there, because that can kind of remind you of where you want to be and where you want to be going with your portfolio. So we will let you go ahead and do project work time. If you want to just pause the video and just set a timer and give yourself an hour, if not a little bit more, to just really kind of get in the zone and work on that portfolio. All right, if you're coming back from portfolio work time, we just want to remind ourselves that portfolios are never done and each one's going to look different and unique. So yours doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to look exactly like the one you saw in your linked slide deck from your teachers and instructors. And we want to think that we'll just keep improving on these throughout the year. And as you find new things to add to it, as we build new projects in fellowship, as you find new features that you want to add to that web page, we'll keep working on it. So it's a piece, it's like a living document. We always want to continue to come back to it and make new creative touches to make it unique and improve. We will also have more time to work on our portfolios at different points throughout the year. So exporting your project back to GitHub. We want to host our finished code on GitHub to create a centralized portfolio for all of our projects. Even if you're not done, you can always export your changes to GitHub when you're done making updates. So it's in a good habit as you've made good progress to be exporting it back. In the tools menu at the bottom, just click bottom left, click export to GitHub, and then you're gonna type in your GitHub, then what would be your username, and then the exact project repo name. It's really important. This is where all errors come from and where students get stuck. So again, we see the example, Emily Garvey would be the username, unit-8-which-cheese-ru. And so that's the exact naming conventions for your username and then the exact project repo name. So really important to just kind of take your time on that. So if you need to pause the screen so you have these directions up while you're exporting your project back to GitHub. All right, our lesson highlight, you learned to create new files in Glitch and you did naming and linking of files. So pretty short and sweet today. Just as something to reflect, I know you're not with your small group today or with your mentor instructor, but just for yourself to kind of reflect on the progress you made. You've done about an hour of work time. You went through the slides, this webinar. Did you feel like you met your goals? Did you get what you wanted to finish on your portfolio done? What did you learn? Were there some new things today from Glitch that you learned that you were kind of applying, and what was challenging? So just kind of take time to reflect on that. Think about that. If you want to journal that somewhere, that's great. If you just kind of want to process in your mind, that's great as well. Celebration slide. Go ahead, check the main slide deck that your program manager should have linked in the agenda, and students might have begun linking their portfolios depending on if they did have time to finish in class. And so you can check those out just to kind of see what other students were working on. And then please, if there's a chance to link yours in there, do that. And then again, always check the PM announcements. So on the final slide of the slide deck from your program manager, there will be PM announcements that are specific to your fellowship program. So be sure to check those. This wraps up our webinar for 1.3 portfolio. Thank you so much and good luck with the next unit. Thank you.